Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum is a six-syllable Sanskrit mantra, particularly associated with the four-armed Devanāgarī form of Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. It first appeared in the Mahayana Karada Yuhasutta, where it is also referred to as the Sadakara, six-syllable, and the Paramadaya, or innermost heart of Avalokitesvara. In this text, the mantra is seen as condensed form of all the Buddhist teachings. Om Mani Padme Hum. The first word Om is a short syllable in various Indian religions. The word Mani means jewel or bead. Padme is the lotus flower, the eastern shark flower, and Hum represents the spirit of enlightenment. In Tibetan Buddhism, this is the most ubiquitous mantra and the most popular form of religious practice performed by lay persons and monastics alike. It is also an ever-present feature of the landscape commonly carved onto rocks known as Mani stone, painted into the side of hills, or else it is written on prayer flags and prayer wheels. Due to the increased interaction between Chinese Buddhists and Tibetans and Mongolians during the 11th century, the mantra also entered Chinese Buddhism. The mantra has also been adapted into Chinese Taoism.
Om Mani Padme Hum.
In English, the mantra is variously transliterated, depending on the schools of Buddhism as well as individual teachers. Most authorities consider Mani Padme to be one compound word rather than two simple words. Sanskrit writing does not have capital letters, and this means that capitalization of transliterated mantras varies from all caps to initial caps to no caps. The all caps referring is typically of all the scholarly works and Tibetan Sahana texts. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mantras may be interpreted by practitioners in many ways, or even as mere sequence of sound whose effects lie beyond strict semantic meaning. The middle part of the mantra, Mani Padme, is often interpreted as being in the locative case, jewel in the lotus, Sanskrit Mani jewel gem, Sintamani, and the locative of Padma lotus. The lotus is a symbol present throughout Indian religions, significant purity due to its ability to emerge unstained from the mud, and the spiritual fruition and thus awakening. Mani Padme is preceded by the Om syllable and followed by the Hum syllable, both interjection without linguistic meaning but widely known as divine sounds. However, according to the Donald Lopez, citing Tibetan grammatical source, it is much more like that Mani Padme is in fact a vocative, addressing a bodhisattva called Mani Padme, jewel lotus, an alternative epithet of the Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara. Damien Cow also notes that another theory about the meaning of this mantra is that it actually involves a female deity named Mani Padme. This is due to evidence from the text like the Karanta Yuhasutta, which depicted the mantra as a female deity, also as noted by Hūm. If the word is read as a vocative, it is most likely in the feminine grammatical gender because if masculine, it would be a highly irregular form. Thus, at lowest notes, the original meaning of the mantra could in fact be an invocation of She of the lotus jewel, who is the Diya wisdom, and the consort Avalokitesvara is equivalent to Sati's for his Avishiva. Regarding the relationship between the jewel and the lotus, Stankono argued that it could either refer to a lotus that is a jewel or to a jewel in the lotus. He argued that the second explanation makes more sense, indicating Savite influence through the imagery of the lingam and the yoni. Both also terms associated with Mani and Padma respectively. Thus the mantra could in fact mean "or she with a jewel in her lotus." According to the Alexander Studholm, however, the meaning of Mani Padme should be parsed as a star purusa or determinative, compound in mean, masculine or neuter, locative case, meaning in the jewel lotus, or in the lotus make of jewels, which prefer to. The manner in which Buddha and Bodhisattva are also said to be sitting in these marvelous blooms, and in particular to the manner in which more mundane beings and are believed to appear in the Pure Land of the Buddhas. Given the predominance in the Karatayuha and in the Mahayana in general of the religious goal of the Pure Land of Amitabha, it may be safely assumed that Mani Padme would have been quite naturally associated with the mode of the rebirth of human beings there. The recitation of the Om Mani Padme Hum, then the bringing to mind of the name of the Buddhist Isvara, includes a declaration of the manner in which person is reborn in Sukhavati in the jewel lotus. The first known description of the mantra appears in the Karatayuha Sutta, the basket display, circa 4 to 5 centuries, which is part of certain Mahayana canons such as the Tibetan. In these suttas, Shakyamuni Buddha states, "This is the most beneficiary mantra. Even I make this aspiration to all the million Buddhas and subsequently receive this teaching from Buddha Amitabha." The sutta promotes the recitation of this mantra as mean to liberation. It states that whoever knows Janati, the mantra will know liberation as a fully enlightened Buddha. It also states that initiation into the mantra by a qualified preceptor, which is said to be a lay Dhammapanaka, Vijatara, or Mahasiddha, is an important requirement for practicing this mantra. In the Sutra, Avalokitesvara says that the mantra should not be given to one who has not seen the mandala. This initiation is said to be open all the Buddhisms regardless of the class and gender, whether they be of the Mahayana or Hinayana, but not Sthikas. The Karatayuha Sutta also sees the mantra as a beat or condensed expression of all 84,000 Dhammas. Because of this, it's called the grain of rice of the Mahayana, and reciting is equivalent to reciting numerous sutras. Thus, according to the Studholm, the significance of the mantra in the Karatayuha is Malita. It is the innermost heart of Avalokitesvara, and therefore is a means both of entering into the presence of Avalokitesvara and of appropriating some of the Bodhisattva power. Its practice is said to lead numerous positive qualities, including The seeing dasana, the Bodhisattva's thousandfold form, rebirth into the mirror worlds contained in the pores of the Bodhisattva's body. Innumerable samadhis, meditative absorptions, including the samadhi of rejoicing in loving kindness and compassion, mighty Karuna Mudito. The development of the great compassion, Mahakaruna, accumulation of immiscible merit, accomplishment of the sixth perfection, awakening Bodhi. In this sutra, the Sadaksari Mahaviyya, six-syllable Raiviya, also appears as a goddess, autumn yellow in color, with 4 arms, with 2 arms holding a lotus and prayer beads, and the other 2 in Ajali Mura. According to the Struthon, these features are similar to the way of the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. Is depicted in Saya text, since both are concise viyas and dayas her of their respective Isvara. So, generous means of the attaining liberation, universally available, though of rare value and somewhat secret. Both are also, it has been argued, conceived of as forms of Parnava, divine sound. The Garada Juhasutra was translated into Chinese in the 11th to 12th century and is part of the Chinese Buddhist canon. Mani Padme Hum. The 11th century Bengalese master artisan Dipakara, who was influential in bringing Buddhism to Tibet, also wrote a short treatise on the mantra called Ayasa Asari Sahana. Some Buddhist scholars argue that the mantra as practiced in Tibetan Buddhism was based on the Sahanamala, a collection of sahana of spiritual practice published in the 12th century. However, according to the Peter Allen Roberts, the primary source of Tibetan Avalokitesvara practice and teaching in the 11th century Manikapum. Dono Lopez writes that according to the 7th century work by the Prime Minister of the 5th Dalai Lama, the meaning of the mantra is said to be, "All you who have the charo and the lotus that Mani Padme is the vocative case," is also supported by the 9th century Tibetan grammatical treatise. Lopez also notes that the majority of Tibetan Buddhism texts have regarded the translation of the mantra as a secondary, focusing instead of the correspondence of the 6 syllables of the mantra to various other groupings of 6 in Buddhist tradition. For example, in the Chereshik Sahana, Sangha Tunku Rinpoche expand upon the mantra's meaning, taking its 6 syllables to represent the purification of the 6 realms of existence. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.